What is going on, Cowboy Nation? As we calm it down just a little bit, not as high as a level as I normally am. Bryan, on the other hand, is going to be figuring out his audio, trying a new setup. He's going to go switching over to the new broadcast, and we got it's always some little things here and there. So he's trying to perfect it slowly but surely. But before we, it's not the same thing. I mean, Primetime Phil, of course, back at you. Very unfortunately, just, what part of it can you start with? What part of you are you pissed off the most about? I know for me, I start out with the quarterback position. That is the number one place that I have to go with. 85% of that, to me, is him with the 2 interceptions. I think we talked about it definitely in the last broadcast where, if he's going to go ahead and do, he's going to play like the way he played in the Washington week, this team does not have a chance. And I guess he did kind of play that way, but they still had a chance to win it, and they couldn't come through at the end because was that Kellen Moore, the other part of it, and the clock management from Mike McCarthy. So there's a lot to be dissected within this game, and of course, if you talk about any of it, you start to get pissed, your blood pressure starts to go up. I know mine for a fact. But as we go in and Bryan starts to try to figure out his stuff as well, we'll go to the chat, of course, to his Digga in here, representing his Eagles. His Eagles are still alive. And Mike Aldana, Glimmer Man, pissed as much as we are. Brooklyn Joe in the house. 24/7 Cowboy was here. I'm not sure if he's still in here, but hey, this is a therapy session. This is what it's all about, man. I know when I was watching the game, there was, in the beginning part, you saw they couldn't move the ball, and then by the time you got the extra point, I mean, the extra point ends up getting blocked, and you're just like, okay, what's going to happen here? Oh my God! It's just, what part of it, when you think about this game, does it flash back? For me, it's that second interception that he had, where you're driving down the field in the second quarter, you're about to possibly put some points on the board, and then Dak throws that timely interception, and then all of a sudden, I felt like the game kind of switched. And it's hard to say the game switched when they weren't really getting anything involved, but we all know, if we've watched, any kind of football in general, it really goes with momentum what's happening within the game. You see the ball bounce one way, the defenders on the other team happen to catch the ball when the opportunities arise. And I know for a fact that our guys just weren't coming up with it. I know there's a big part of Cowboy Nation that's really pissed about the fact that Trayvon Diggs didn't come up with that timely interception, even though that's what they pay him for, and they pay him for that, and not the tackling, because of course the whiff on Kittle. There's so many things to be, and exactly, Mike, exactly when I pointed, when you're pointing this all out, there was a lot of plays left on the field, and I think that right there, I think definitely describes exactly what was happening. Whether it was flags, whether it was the play call. I mean, when you look at the San Francisco defense, we're fans, and we know that the way that you attack this defense is through the air with 9 routes down the field. But that's not the case that was happening, man. They were doing underneath routes. Like, okay, let's try to just attack their linebackers and defensive linemen. That makes no sense. And then the time that you did see them attack the field down. I mean, CeeDee Lamb goes down the field, and Dak underthrows it. So, there's a lot of parts in there where Dak was kind of the X factor with each part of it. I mean, and I guess Kellen Moore not calling those great plays, but if you do call the perfect play and Dak Prescott's playing the way he does, does it even matter that you're calling those plays? I'm definitely just, when I get upset about everything, I think it goes right back to number 4. I know with my complaint with work, and because obviously if you're a Cowboy Nation, you have fans, you have friends that kind of give you crap, your phone's blowing up, and I'm like, look, man, if he's getting paid $40 million a year, okay, so let me see if I can switch this up, because Bryan just went ahead and logged out. So you're seeing me on both screens. All right, let's take a look here. We're going to change that like that. And then, sorry about this, guys. I'm just trying to get my other camera up and going here. Not really sure why it's not. Huh. Alright, well, I guess we're not going to be able to do it that way, are we? So sorry about that, guys. Trying a little bit, a couple of other... Oh, there goes Bryan back into the chat again. Let's see if he's able to come through this time. But Dallas even even other fans as well can see what the problems are within this team. Obviously, the defense did its job. As much as I get upset about Diggs and any of those things, Mark, yeah, take a breath. I'm just sitting there trying to figure out what could they have done more other than come up with those interceptions to help Dak out and not have to do any of that crap, So, let's see if we got Bryan going back up here. Bryan, can you hear me? Yeah, and I think that's my aggravation is more in the sense that Mark says it right here. It's like, take a breath, I'm upset, man. I was like, I don't know which way to go first. That's how much of this ball game that I was just so upset about. Whether, the penalties that we weren't worrying about for most of the season, there were some timely penalties. Again, Dak doing his little thing where he's throwing into double coverage. When you see that the guy is open down the field, he's just not making that right read. So they were getting like late shots on Dak. I think I saw that as well too, and they weren't calling any of those flags. So those are things to get upset about, but they weren't the reasons why this team lost this game, and I think we all can point that out. So, Bryan, you there? Hello, Bryan. Cal, can you guys hear him okay? Because maybe I'm hearing him wrong, and maybe you can hear him differently. So, Bryan, can you hear? Can you give us a talk? Give us a test. No sound. Okay, so I guess nothing. But anyways, tell me, guys, what was the part that made you the most upset? I mean, the penalties. I think CeeDee Lamb, for example, that good spot. Let's talk about some of the good spots. I guess if we're gonna pull something out of this and try to get any kind of positiveness out of it before we start complaining about everything, because I can't even pick a subject. And this is where Bryan would come in. We could jump a little bit more into these subjects. But if you're gonna point out some goods, I can hear you some. It's a little off. But let me see. Hold on. Let me change it because okay. Go ahead, try now. Now the group can hear you.
I'm just using my monitor at this point.
Okay, well.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's a little choppy. So I'm not sure if it's maybe the connection here. No.
It's something to Zoom. It is what. Hold on. Stay tuned. I don't mean to interrupt you guys. I'm trying to get it to work. I'm trying to do stuff and then we can go back to my old one.
Yeah, that's how much he destroyed. That's what it was, Mark. He destroyed everything in his house, and that's the reason why he has no working system right now.
I don't remember, but look.
Yes, I definitely agree. So let's talk about some of these positives. Like when we talk about the line, I look at the positive, and one thing that I have to say, like the offensive line, they were giving Dak some time. I mean, obviously, you're not going to have all day, but there were some times where he hurried up the pass when he didn't have to, and you got guys like the rookie Tyler Smith that's been doing an amazing job within that game, and he got to take on some physical people, and he got to mature, and I think that's what you want to see from your rookie, especially as the season went very long. It's like double already what the college program normally goes. But yeah, I mean, so let's jump on to another stuff other than that. I mean, when we look at the tight ends, I mean, how did the other tight ends do? I know Schultz for me was a big disappointment, but how did the other tight ends do for you guys? I know, hey, they were blocking, they were doing their thing. They just wasn't a lot of on the passing plays. Schultz, I think that was my disappointment when it comes to the tight ends. Schultz, Dak rolls out and he's trying to run to the end zone, and Schultz is just watching there. Instead of taking the block, if he would have hit that block, Dak would have scored, and that would have probably been a different ball game, but that wasn't the case. Schultz kind of just like, just trying to figure out what was going on. His awareness was just not there yesterday, and some of those plays that he needed to make because, hey, why are they paying him $12 million a year? Why are you even in negotiations about getting a long-term contract if you're not going to come up with those type of plays? Hello? It's a little bit better. And that's the truth. You're a little shaky, but continue.
What's going on? So,
Oh, that sounds better. That sounds a lot better.
all right, well, if you guys can hear me, I'll hop on.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
working shit out here. Sorry.
well, yeah, just work it out as we go, but you can hear a lot better. I think you could hear a lot better. But yes, Michael Danish says it right there. Dak was force feeding the ball to CD.
All right.
Yeah, look at him. He's looking so there. What's going on, guy?
Yeah, hold up. I'm like way too bright. Why is it so bright? Oh, I know why. Because of this crap.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
All right, it's better.
Yeah. So, anyways,
So how's everybody doing?
everybody.
It's breaking up. I can barely hear you, but it's on me. I'm working some stuff out.
Yeah,
How's the chat going? I gotta pull that up.
Yeah, you got Mark making fun of you and saying you don't have to go. Game times. I know we lost, but you don't have to hide, man. Like,
I'm not hiding, Mark. Trust me. Trust me. I ain't hiding.
maybe this is a good thing. Maybe this is a way that you don't put all that negativity out on the internet. And I'm messing with you, man.
Yeah.
I was talking about
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
I was talking about the
just
stuff that
annoyed.
upset me, and so I was trying to get onto the positives because there was a small amount of positives that came out of it. Obviously, the defense, they could have stepped up. They could have made some better plays in those moments. But hey, they did 19 points, man. That's really good compared to the weapons that San Francisco has, and they were on a roll. So, did they come up with a little blueprint to kind of give it to them? I'm not really. I'm not sure, and you're just hoping that the next team, whether it's this next NFC or the championships,
Am I
kind of.
good now or what?
You break in and out, but I can hear you a lot better.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah, I
continue
don't
talking,
understand.
no, you should continue talking.
Still bad.
No, it's better
I'm
though.
just trying to work it out. I had my phone, 'cause, I operate my other camera with my phone, and it was bad. So I don't know, whatever. It was still open, but I'm gonna go until you guys can't hear me anymore. But yeah, so listen, man. I mean, what did you think about the game? Because I have a lot that I'm gonna get to, but I mean, what's everybody saying? Yeah, Harry Ritchie, he's disappointed because he wanted the Eagles. Yeah, listen, I think
I don't want
the
that,
Eagles
folks.
are going to be tough regardless, but I think that
It's a hell of a matchup. It's
we
gonna be a hell of a
didn't
matchup.
really. Yeah, we didn't put our best foot forward yesterday, Phil. We absolutely did not, and I'm going to blame Kellen Moore first. Kellen Moore, he just had a bad game plan. Now, ultimately, it's up to the quarterback not to throw the ball and throw interceptions. That's what it's
true.
ultimately up to. He was putting the ball in harm's way. He lost to a quarterback who was Mr. Irrelevant, okay? I'm not trying to be mean. I love Dak, but Mr. Irrelevant did not throw the ball into harm's way. He did. You guys can still hear me, right?
No, yeah, good. Like earlier, I was getting flustered because I didn't know which way to point. I'm so mad with so many things about this game that I couldn't jump on one subject. I was kind of everywhere because it's like, but I was narrowing it down the exact same way, man. Dak was the centerpiece of it all. And you need better quarterback play, especially when you knew that they were going to take away the run. But let me ask you a question. When we're talking about that part of it, what do you think about Zeke? I mean, do you have that same feeling that we want to restructure and keep him around when he's averaging like 6 inches a run?
Yeah, if he's going to take a team-friendly deal, I mean, we'll bring him back. The fact that Pollard has a broken fibula, or tibia, whatever, his lower leg is incredible.
Didn't he get that?
When
Didn't he
it
hurt
goes
that before?
bad for us, it goes real bad, Phil. It goes real bad.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There's no arguing that point.
I don't know if I was breaking up or not, but I covered Kellen Moore being bad. But here's the problem I have with the offense. It's the old Garrett offense. It's the same plays that Garrett, was running. It's not a surprise that after all the teams that play us, it's no surprise if they say, oh, they didn't do anything that, like, we knew what they were going to do. It's the speed outs, the speed outs to the sideline, the comeback routes. That's all Garrett. Okay, Dak has, this is my notes from I was taking notes as the carnage was going on. Dak has all of his INTs running these routes. like the comebacks, the Gallup doesn't come back,
Yep.
or the speed outs. They know it's coming by formation. Okay, you know what routes were working, or what he was, he's good at, and what was open yesterday was the 7, 8, and 9 routes, which is the play action shots down the field. He missed Gallup on the wrong side of the hash. It's a combination of everybody, but it's time to move on to a different offense. Dak's my quarterback. You saw how he played the game before. I feel bad because at a couple of the INTs, there was guys wide open. The one, like the last one he threw, T.Y. Hilton was running free up the other seam.
Yep,
Nobody was with him.
Yep.
I don't really know what's going on with Dak. He did make a comment. He goes, I promise I won't let it happen
I
again.
don't like that. I don't like that. Don't
look
do
at
that.
Dan Marino.
Yeah.
Look at Dan Marino, Phil.
Yeah.
He never got that second chance. I'm not saying, you know what I mean? You don't know when you're going to get there. You need to take advantage of it. Now, we have Dak for at least next year, so something's got to change, and I think the offense has to change. I don't want to hear about we were first place, we were this, we were, number one in scoring. We were not consistently that way. When we were good, we were real good, but when we were bad, we were bad. So.
Yeah, one guy I was saying as you connect.
Little rant for now. We'll get to another one soon, but I love Dak, but this offense is not suited for him.
Yeah, it's hard not to agree. I'm not saying I defend him, but there's a lot of times where you can see football and you see where there's other people's faults. But yeah, I just could not take that away. I mean, I was definitely, just why did you throw this? And I was with you. Why didn't Gallup come back? It was to come back, and he didn't fulfill that. But he still should not have thrown that. So that's, and then we were talking about the deep pass to CeeDee Lamb. That should have been a touchdown. That he doesn't. He just underthrows it. CeeDee has to come back to the ball. That was a problem. One person that I was very disappointed with, we were driving in that second, and then all of a sudden, like, Dak runs to go to the end zone, and it's open. It is open. All Schultz has to do is hold a block, take a block, and he just did not do it, and then, obviously, they don't score on that drive, and it's just, right. There's a lot of frustrations within this game. I mean, even the penalties, not a whole lot of them, but they were timely penalties. So there was obviously time management as well.
I never seen the refs call more defensive holding against the Niners last year and this year. All right, I get it. The Hankins one was a penalty. I understand, but so was the ones against the Niners holding the Dallas guys.
I saw that. They were holding holding Zach Martin a lot of the times.
Listen, that's one of my favorite terms. Listen, man. The bottom line for the penalties is they were untimely, but they really didn't cost us the game. Listen, I know Mike McCarthy's here. Okay, we need to get rid of Kellen Moore.
Yeah,
we have Brian Schottenheimer, who's already in the system. That's he has the pedigree. Let's give him a shot.
I just don't want this system anymore.
Dan Quinn.
Yeah, and, good. Yeah,
we have George Edwards in house already. There's nothing wrong with that. It's time to move on. I like McCarthy, but we need to switch the offense up. It's antiquated. It's not working. Poor CeeDee Lamb. Okay, poor CeeDee Lamb. He had 11 catches for 127.
But you need a number 2
yards or something.
You need somebody that could complement him. That's the problem. You right now. I think that's your problem with your outsides. Wide receiver, you need a guy to complement your number 1. He proved this year that he can be a number 1, and then you need a number 2 corner to complement Diggs. I mean, as much as I'm not saying Diggs is the ultimate man and everything.
Bland has a lot of promise.
I love it.
Bland, he's raw and he's young.
But that's okay. I love him in the slot. If you bring if they can get that other piece, like you got obviously a Byron Jones type of person that's probably going to be released. I'm not saying that's the answer, but if you can get somebody in that kind of caliber where he's a swatter, he swats the ball away, that's going to be amazing. You sound clear, just to let you know. I don't know if you're getting a delay. Yeah.
No, I was on mute because I have all this. There's got to be something going on with my camera here because it's pitch black behind me, and yet it looks like it's like in the middle of the day. So I'm very.
That's a great
I'm
camera.
all jacked up tonight. I'll get it worked out, but you know,
oh, man,
who knows?
awesome.
But yeah, what else do I got? Yeah, Gallup. Gallup played bad. He didn't do the stop. I mean, he never came back to the ball. I mean, it's Dak's job to get him the ball early, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why they can't get the man the ball, or what. They weren't double teaming him, so it was frustrating.
Well,
CD
I mean,
Lamb, they were teeing off on CD.
I think. I know we were talking about this option routes and how but I mean, the option routes are there. Why is Gallup having to go? I mean, there was nobody else in that area. So, I mean, he could have gone up the field as well. I mean, I don't know. There's just for an amazing complex system that's, no, it's just so basic and simple. It's a basic bitch.
We need another weapon. You're right when you say that. We absolutely need another weapon. Yeah, so we need another weapon. What's we laughing at?
Harry Ritchie, it's not the camera, it's that face.
Yeah, it's the face, all right. No, Harry, it's pitch black. I have another setup that I'm getting ready to start, and for some reason this camera, it's pitch black, and I feel like I'm in a daylight. So whatever. It's probably got my night vision on, but I some dudes hiding around outside.
Glimmerman says Diggs could have made a game-changing play last night and missed it, and Turpin made a bad decision. Yeah, that's as much as the excitement was on Turpin. Yeah, I think as well. I mean, as much as there was excitement, it's just I don't. Is he trying too hard? He's not letting the game come to him. I mean, I feel like he reminds me a little bit of Jerome Bennis, not in the sense of like how big and he can run over people, but like remember Jerome Bennis would hit the hole and then he would go like 5 yards and he'd get up and start doing his little steps like I almost broke it, and you're just like, you didn't break shit, man. Just sit down. So, and then that's kind of what I get with Turpin. It's just like you see him get a good run and back and everything. Okay, great. Just kind of get it more consistent. I'm not going to say I don't want him on the team. Obviously, I love him being there. I just, I remember more of the fumbles and those things during the season than than the positive plays. So, yes, Glimmerman hits it out there right there. If we had another weapon, Moore wouldn't use him. That's why we need to get rid of Moore. Yeah. No more. Let Mark McCarthy bring his guy in.
Another disappointing player.
Okay.
It's Dalton Schultz.
Oh, see,
Dalton
Schultz. I was hitting on this.
Did he not? I mean, he's playing college. We're only getting 1 foot in. He made no attempt. He made no attempt to go upfield. The rule is your momentum has to be going up the field. If you're hit backwards, the clock doesn't stop. I mean, not to mention that he didn't get it on the last catch. He didn't get both feet down. Didn't even make an attempt. Listen, man, sayonara, bro. We need playmakers to be able to know what's going on. See, I made a comment on Mark's live yesterday, and all I said was I miss Troy Aikman. And then I heard a couple of the guys at the back say, "Oh, he was a horrible person. He's whatever." Who cares?
Yeah, we're not trying to be your friend.
He wouldn't have threw 2 INTs like you saw Dak do yesterday. Dak's too hot and cold. I love Dak. I'm his biggest supporter. You can't do that in that spot. Yeah. Purdy knew not to do that, but we did it. All I was saying was
there's a difference of $40 million.
We took Aikman for granted.
Yeah.
We took Aikman for granted. We took him for granted. He got he was a rookie. He got sacked 11 times at Philly. I was at that game. Then the next year, we only won 1 game his rookie year, and it wasn't by him. It was by the other quarterback out of Miami. And then year 2, we went 7-9. And then year 3, we won the Super Bowl in '92 with 11 wins. Yeah, like in the regular season. It was just money. Didn't have to be perfect. I understand he had a good running game, but Emmett was drafted at 90. 91 was So, it's just frustrating. I don't know where the answers lie, but
that's how I was today.
Defense played well enough to win. defense played well enough to win. It's a damn shame that we lost that game. We gave up 19 points. If I would have told you, if I would have told Mark, if I would have told Glimmerman, if I would have told Mike Aldana, if I would have told Twiz, everybody in the chat, that the Niners would have scored 19 points, what would you have said? Knowing that we've averaged over 30 points all year.
You're kidding. Yeah, exactly.
What would you have said, right?
Yeah.
You would have said that we would have won the game. We scored 12 points. Why was that? It seems like CeeDee Lamb and Pollard, and when Pollard got hurt, it was all for naught.
Well, I mean, that's where Kellen Moore. I mean, there was no play action before.
Well, you go ahead and respond to that, and then I'll go on my next rant.
Well, I mean, that's where Kellen Moore. I mean, you weren't running the ball. Okay, we'll take that away or whatever. But then you start using the play action once Pollard got hurt, and it was like, oh, no, you're not going to do it. You're not going to run the ball. You weren't bringing Malik Davis in to kind of help with that. You were just kind of shoving it all on Zeke, and there was nothing there. I mean, Dak was the only positive when it was coming to the running game, but it's the decisions, like, okay, so he makes the throw downfield, that's incomplete, but they got two guys that hit him, and there's no call at all. So I mean, there was like these little things, but I don't think they're enough to neglect the fact that you just didn't have your main guy played. I think that's funny. Dono says, I never blame one guy on a team sport, but Dak crapped the bed yesterday. Cooper would have won.
Yeah, and like I said, Dak's my guy. Last week I praised him to high heavens. Okay, we have to be honest here. We have to be honest. We have to call it the way we see it. That's just how I'm gonna roll. But getting back to your digs. Oh my god. His Olay tackle on Kittle was embarrassing. Okay. To all the detractors who don't know what we know about Diggs, he did himself a disservice. Okay, we all know he's not Dion. Okay, or at least not yet. You have to make that tackle. He was bobbling the ball. You got to hit him, and you got to hit him where the ball. It was loose. He did an Olay. You can't do that. Do you want to win the game, or? And then Mr. I got hands. We all said that. I say it all the time. He's got like receiver hands. I understand the ball was tipped, and when it's tipped, it like changes the speed. But it hits him in the breadbasket. He makes that interception, we probably win the game. I mean, it's little things. Me and you have been calling for Turpin all year. Are you not annoyed with Turpin? Everybody's looking at, wow, he had a great game. Do you really think he had a great game?
No.
He should have scored.
Yeah. There was a lot of should have scores.
Why would you cut back? He cut back into the damn kicker. Take it to the sideline and then level it out, straighten it out.
Yeah.
I was just... Dude, like when it went off the rails, people, it went off the rails. Just think of this. We have 30 new players on this team than we had on last year's team. We have 30 new players. Okay, that's the NFL. You get caught up with a half dozen names, 8 or 10 guys. Oh, they're back. Most of this team won't be what we have next year.
No, there's going to be a lot of decision making.
Just like for every other team. Just like the Eagles, just like everybody else. And shout out to the Eagles. They're taking advantage of what they're doing. Now, I think it was impressive. I'm on record of saying how impressive it was that we won 12 games this year in the regular season. Just remember, we had a first-place schedule. Yes, we didn't win the division. Shout out to the Eagles again. They had a phenomenal year, and they're still playing, okay? But to win 12 games, just like next year, it'll be that much harder for the Eagles with a first-place schedule. They most likely ain't winning 13, 14 games. I'm not saying they're not going to win the division. I haven't thought about it, but when you have a first-place schedule, it's hard. We missed another opportunity. Am I going to say, Phil, that can't win a Super Bowl? I'm not going to say that. But, the odds are, if you haven't won it by now, and what's this year? Is this year 6? Or
6 or 7?
7?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I'll say 7.
Look at Joe. You know what I mean? It's like, the window's not closed. We know how young the team is. We know it's going to look different. But, Phil, I mean, are we sure Dak's going to go? Are we sure he's going to get better? I mean, I don't know. I don't have that answer.
I wouldn't be against getting somebody there. I mean, he's going to be hitting 30. I'm not trying to say that he's done or anything like that.
I think he's 28 right now.
29. I thought he's 29. But I mean, he's right.
Might
He's
have
got a
just
couple.
turned 29.
I would say he got another 3 or 4 years left, and in general, I'm not saying that he can't go past that. But I wouldn't be against if somebody was to be drafted or anything. The only problem that I see when I see any of that stuff is that we need to continue with the O-line. We need to get the D-line. We need to get some wide receivers. And since this team does not like to go out for free agency and pick up these guys, you need to pick them up from somewhere. And you can't pick everybody in the first and second round and the third round, especially if you're not trading anybody off and you're trading off Cooper for a 5th round draft pick. You're not going to do any of that stuff. So go ahead.
Well, listen, me and Phil, we haven't decided how many shows. We'll at least do one show a week for now, but we're going to be all over the off season, okay? And especially the draft. That's one of my best times of the year. I love covering the draft, but I'm on record now. I'm just telling everybody now, if I can go out and get a number like a high-end receiver, I'm willing to give up. I don't even know. I think we're probably 26 or 27. I'm willing to give up our first pick, and if it needs to be
we'll have to look and see who becomes free agents
something, or 2 next year. I know we'll have to see, or we'll have to probably get somebody from.
I think you're going to have to.
I'm willing to do that. I'm not willing to sit and draft, but know them. How they're going to.
Yeah, sorry, I'm jumping on you, but what I would do is in the just continue building the line through the draft, your D line, your O line, and I mean to sign 2, a number 2 wide receiver and a number 2 cornerback. That's not a bad offseason transaction, and to get that piece, to get an established person, so you're not just playing. Let's just figure out if somebody can play that outside, and let's figure out if this kicker can do it as well. We don't have to experiment. We can actually go, okay, we got a bona fide dude that can just sit over there, the opposite of Trayvon Diggs. Why not go out there and get that? I mean, Anthony Brown is his contract up?
And we're going to, and we'll be all over it. No, we have Anthony Brown, but he has the ACL. Obviously. He won't be ready anytime soon. Who knows what they're going to do, but if you stick it at the end of the draft, you're getting a second round of talent. This draft isn't that great early on anyway. Mm-hmm. Just my opinion from what I saw. I don't know. All I would say is, getting back to the game, what really frustrated me was the 4th and 4. We need to go for it there at the
yes
at the 40-yard line, and then the 4th and 8. The 4th and 10, I understand, but when you get a kickoff that's muffed and fumbled, and we recover it, and we only get a field goal, that's like -4 there. Mm-hmm. Just put all that together, people. I like McCarthy, but his game management yesterday at the end of the game was horrendous.
It was.
It was horrendous. The fact that he took at our 40-yard line on 4th and 4, he took a delay of game penalty. Why would he do that? I have no idea why he did that. It made no sense to me. You were at the 40. You had to go for it. Had to. I was just confused, man. That second half was like we were in a twilight zone. I thought I saw, Chan Gailey on the sideline, or it was friggin'. I thought I saw Patrick Creighton coming open on a dig route. It was what are we doing here? Just frustrating, man. It was frustrating. And we lost by 7 points. Do you really think they're that much better than us? Our defense played well enough to win. Do you think they're that much better than us?
And that's the part that
we should have won the game. We had them rattled.
Yeah, that's the part that I was worried about the most, because they had a lot of weapons. We would have gone to
Philly.
Yeah, they had a lot of weapons, and to only hold them to 19 points, that's to me, that's amazing. If you would have told me that's what would have happened, I would have felt amazingly confident going into that game, going, okay, yeah, our offense can definitely score more than 19 points, so we got this. And then to see them just do it, to do it consistently, okay, sometimes when you do a drive and then you kind of you get back into it and you can kind of put stuff together, but it just seemed to each each part. It was just one thing after another. And it was one person. So, as much as these guys were learning, there was a lot of their mistakes happen. I mean, again, when I jumped on it, obviously I was with Schultz. I saw when Dak was running to the end zone. I brought this up earlier when you weren't being able to go in. When Dak was running to the end zone, where Schultz just kind of misses, doesn't even try to do the block. That would have been a touchdown. And so that right there was a difference of 7 points, because I think the next player. So I think they turn it over. So. Yeah, it's just a lot of frustration there. I mean, you can point almost anywhere. You can point anywhere on the sideline. Especially,
Yeah, well, getting to Harry's comment, he goes, because of where he was on the field and your kicker is shit. And I agree that he had a bad week last week. I don't know what he ate, but he did, and this is a long history to franchise. He set the team record for points scored in a season. Not just for just the flat-out points scored in a season. He has actually had an unbelievable year. For whatever reason...
Yeah, I would move on now.
He thought he was Einhorn. He didn't know whether he was Einhorn or Finkel. Einhorn is a man. I mean, he thought he was Ray Finkel. Laces out. He was seeing some ghosts out there. And even with that first kick, that wasn't going to be good anyway.
No, it wasn't.
If you saw it, he kicked it to the left end.
Oh yeah,
the left end said he's never blocked he's never blocked a kick in his life because he's lined up on the outside. So, Ray Finkel laces out. Come on, man. That was another thing. But he's a great kicker. That's the thing. He's not like he's a bad kicker. He had a great year. So everything went against us, and it seemed like everything was going the Niners' way, even though I was excited at the beginning of the game. I was happy at the beginning. We were getting pressure on Purdy. Again, I don't think Purdy's special, which is why I think the Eagles are going to beat him in Philly. I don't think this kid is going to be able to deal with that atmosphere. Now, I got people at work running their mouth. Oh, well, we got it harder now. You're wrong about that. Dallas would have given you a lot better game than the Niners are. That's my opinion. And I say that because they know each other so well. Dak's record against the Eagles is great. Now, would he have won in the championship game? I don't know. I probably would have said no. It would have been a close game, and I would pick the Eagles. But whenever there's a divisional game, other than the Giants, who shit the bed the other night, which, I didn't pick the Giants to win, but I sure as hell didn't have them losing by 31 points. That was... embarrassing. A shout out to the Eagles again. Everything they did was right. But I would think that you would, if I was the Eagles, I'd be a little happy that you're playing Purdy, because Dak's record against you is 8-3. That's just a fact. You could say ugly at times. He's clutch.
Well, this is the way I look at it.
I don't think that
I'm going to go on a positive little thing.
That Dallas was going to win a third game on the road. That's just me. But I would like to have seen it.
So when I look at this team, okay, how long has Mike McCarthy been here? He's been able to,
right?
Yeah, year 3, and the fact that you're 12, you got 12 wins in back-to-back seasons, which is very good. He's slowly putting this team together by dismantling what Jason Garrett had, and so there are obviously people that are here that we're still questioning, like whether it's Tyron Smith or any of those guys. Is he going to be back next season? Yes, he's a great guy, but he has his. You do have your problems when you hold him on the roster, especially if you hold him in that starting position. You're going to have something there if you do not, get a solid backup that can actually play that, and that he's going to play like 7 or 8 games. So if that's one of your plans, that's another guy that we got to worry about. So as another season possibly unfolds, he's getting more of his guys in here. So when you look at the last season, man, what was the score? 40 something? Like, we just got blown out in our own house, and then this year we're right in there because we're physical. San Francisco. Right? It was like we were
a close game.
It was a close game, but wasn't it high scoring? That's
what
I was saying. Wasn't it high scoring though? So that's what I'm talking about. Your offense can't.
I'm having technical difficulties tonight. On top of a nightmare of a game yesterday, I come home from work trying to use the new setup, and now my old setup don't work. So whatever.
Not today.
It's a total mess. What's up, Jack Meeker? Is Quinn gone for sure? He does.
Oh man, I
Jerry
hope not.
pay him as well, head coach. He's gone.
I don't
He's
know.
gone.
Can he?
But I don't think it's
I
as
don't
bad
know.
as people think. We got George Edwards. He knows the system. He's there now. We have the highest paid coaching staff with assistants that I've ever seen. You know, we got Brian Schottenheimer. Telling you, just remember that name. Yeah, that's Marty's kid. The dude is got a talent on top of talent. The Kellen needs to go. That offense is antiquated. It needs to go. Yeah, it still puts up numbers, but in a big game, I just couldn't believe how many dig routes and outs he was calling. That's why they're on top of Dak. And I will say this: the Niners didn't sack Dak a lot, but what the Niners did, because they only had one sack. But the Niners did to us what we did to Tampa. We didn't get to Tom that much, but we pressured every play. And Dak, I don't know that any quarterback could have handled it, but I wish Dak would have handled it like Purdy, who rolled out and threw the ball away. Live to play another play,
No, but
you know what I mean? Instead of throwing it.
Yeah, they were talking
Over
about
the
like
middle. That's the part that scares me. That's the
There's
part
not-
that scares me. Why are we doing that? We've
there's
learned.
not. Yeah, I would
that
say
you
there's
can't
not very
do
many
that.
times that Dak actually throws the ball away. So that's not normally in his repertoire of stuff
Live
that he
to
pulls
fight
out.
another day. The Niners weren't doing shit against us. We shut down McCaffrey. Does everybody realize how good our defense played yesterday? Yeah, we gave up a couple drives. We gave up 19 points. That should win 9 out of 10 games. That's.
But you need your
that's where
$40
you
million
look at.
quarterback to
That's
play.
where you look.
Yeah.
And I don't care about Jerry Jones right now. How's that, Jerry? I heard you were crying. Hey, listen, Jerry. All of us fans were upset too, who put our hard money and time, Phil, me, all the money we're invested in your team, all the fans who watch you. Listen, you can go, you'll be upset for a couple of days, and then you'll start lying to yourself, saying you're 1-2 players away from a Super Bowl. No, I heard a line today, Phil, and I don't know what you feel about this, but I started thinking, can Dak win 3 playoff games in a row against 3 good teams?
That's so true.
Now, I know it's not just Dak, but that's an interesting question. I mean, can he? We don't like prosperity. I mean, are we able to win 3 games in a row? Only one team gets the bye,
Yeah.
and that's hard to do.
I think Dak is one of those guys
And
that
now
you
they're
have to
talking
put the
about
talent around
playing
him.
the championship game on a neutral site, whether you get the number 1 seed or not, which I think is ridiculous, but that's what they're talking about. So it's like, I don't know that he can win 3 in a row.
I
So
think
it's
right
like,
now
we got to start looking for young QBs
I don't know how
and
much
put
he
some more
hears me.
pressure on them. The talk is cheap, and that goes for Jerry, that goes for Mike McCarthy, that goes for Dak Prescott, that goes for anybody, right?
Yeah, well, I believe with Dak Prescott, you have to put the talent around him. We can talk about CeeDee Lamb. He's definitely emerged this year, but where's that other guy in that wide receiver core? We talked about, T.Y. Hilton. There was a connection there, but they weren't. I don't know. He was right. Up the seam he was going. There just wasn't that connection. Dak wasn't seeing that connection. And so if you can't rely on a running game as well, too, I mean, that's a big, obviously you want to try to have Pollard back. It's that Zeke part where you got to restructure if he wants to come back, and you have to get that third running back. That's, if you're not going to use Malik Davis correctly, then you need to get somebody back there that can impact, that Dak can hand this ball off. That's why you need to continue to build the offensive line, because we need to be able to make that push. I'm not saying anything against McGovern. He's played better, but if we can get a starting caliber left guard in there with Tyler Smith, or put Tyler Smith in there and get a left tackle, right there, you're building your lineup, and now you can protect Dak. You can give him some time. You can rely on a running game. Those extra pieces that you're adding on, they need to do that for Dak, because putting it on his
Harry.
37 throws. Come on, man. We said this before. He's not the kind. He'll give you one game like that, but he's not going to go back to back like that. And I think that's where Brian's making the point.
Yeah, and shout out to Mark Hutchin. He says George Edwards will follow Dan Quinn. If we make George Edwards the DC, I don't know because he was from Minnesota, right? So I don't know. He's more of a McCarthy guy.
Well, what about Ron
I think
Rivera?
he would stay. We throw enough money, and I think Quinn is going to be cool. Quinn isn't just going to take everybody. That's not how he's going to work. Now, we have a better shot at keeping Quinn than I do of Kellen Moore because I think Kellen Moore's gone.
I think so too.
He needs to go. Nothing against him, man. You've done well. You should be proud of yourself. But sometimes things just come to an end, and people go, "Wow, you led the league in offense and this and scoring."
Jack, what's up, Jack?
It's too inconsistent. It's too inconsistent. So I think Dan Quinn, he's not going to Denver. You got Sean Payton going on a second interview. If Dan Quinn goes anywhere, it's going to be Indianapolis. Does he really want that job? I'm asking.
I would say no.
I
would say no.
Like, I guess they have talent, but they don't really have a quarterback. They have his old quarterback that he's going to try and rekindle. I'm confused.
What about Houston?
You got Matty Ice. So, I don't know that Quinn is necessarily gone. But if he is...
Hey, until he tells me that
I know he had an
and
interview,
I says personally.
I know he did, but...
But until he's actually gone, I'm not
like
going to jump on
it's
that.
like job experience.
Yeah.
What's that, Phil?
No, I was saying until they say Dan Quinn is actually gone, unless he says he's gone and does that whole letter to the it's one of those candidates. Every single year they're talking about the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. Every single year they're talking about the defensive coordinator. Every year it's something. It's just headline stuff, and I mean obviously he is a commodity that people would want to grab onto. But I think Dallas is a big enough, and I'm hoping that he learned the fact that, head coaching is a little bit different. Ron Rivera's right in there, not a great head coach, nowhere even good, but a good defensive coordinator. So nobody wants Jason Garrett's son, Angelica says.
Yeah, well, I don't know that he's going to have a choice. I don't know, man. I just know I think we need a different offense, man. It's just my opinion. I'm not trying to pass the buck. And I agree with 24/7, man. He's done well, so it's not like I hate the Kellen Moore. I just think for Dak, he needs something different.
He does.
You maybe go to a true West Coast. McCarthy, that's your specialty. I like to see McCarthy.
Harrier, his guy.
Yeah, Brian Schottenheimer. I keep saying it. Watch out for Brian Schottenheimer. He's going to be our new offensive coordinator.
I don't mind that.
And I think it's going to be great. Yeah. I really do.
Yeah.
So, if let's put it this way, and we're not going to get into the offseason. This is just breaking down last night's fiasco, the gut-wrenching. I saw it happening in the second half. I knew it was going to happen. But if we come back as status quo, like in the coaching staff, I don't want to get rid of McCarthy, but if heads have to roll here, we can't keep doing this. That's just the way it works. If I do that at work, heads are going to roll. If Phil doesn't do what he's supposed to do at work, he's probably the sayonara.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's too inconsistent. So we need to make a change. So I'll be very upset if it's the status quo. I don't care who we bring in. It doesn't matter who we get. If we're running this offense, it's not consistent to win in the big games.
Yeah.
I know I'm saying it over and over, but does anybody please, from the cheap seats, anybody disagree that we need to make changes in the coaching staff, not meaning McCarthy? So,
and I'm all for it. I'm all for that. Mike Aldana says it.
40 people in here, so
Kellen Moore needs to go back to college.
I'm happy we got a crowd.
Yeah, I love Weed said last play was a Boise State kind of play. And that's the thing is, like, you saw the opportunity for Kellen Moore to go to a Boise State where they actually wanted him. And, no, I'm going to stay here. I got a good thing going on here. And you're hoping that in this next wave that 2 years in a row where the offense is doing great, putting up points and efficiencies and stuff like that. So you can't tell me that coach doesn't get some kind of play. What's that?
Sorry.
Kellen Moore is Jerry's pet
I'm
project.
just responding to Mark Hutchin.
Yeah,
Come
but
on,
even
man. Don't do
Jerry,
that to me.
even Jerry at some point turns his back. I mean, if you look at Des Bryant and that whole situation, I mean, that right there sums it. Des Bryant was his child, and he eventually kind of turned his back, and I think that's what has got to happen. I mean, I've said this before, and if Mike McCarthy, he brings his special teams coach in, our special teams improves. I'm not saying this is the most amazing thing, but it actually is a threat compared to what they're blocking punts. They're actually doing some great things on the special teams through the years. So, and then they brings in his defensive coordinator that he really wants, and Dan Quinn reforms our defense, gets some playmakers in there, even bringing some guys from Atlanta, but still doing his thing. So what happens when he can finally put his thumbprint on this offense and actually bring in his guy, like Bryan is saying? I think that's the missing piece. Obviously, it's just like we know that they're playing a really good game because you got the talent, but if you don't have a guy that can I'm gonna whip out this play because they've been playing this all game, and I'm gonna do this. He doesn't have that, and so again, maybe this is one of those things. Let him fail so I can kind of show that now I can bring my guy in. So
and I agree with you. I mean, everything that you just said. But what's sad? Just looking back, I'm numb anymore.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I feel bad for Zeke. I feel like we wasted Zeke's career.
Yeah.
I feel bad
Zach Martin,
for
Tyron Smith.
D-Law.
Yeah.
Tyron Smith is a great one. I feel bad for Leighton Vander Esch because he had an unbelievable year. And I want him back, by the way.
I thought he signed a 2-year. He didn't sign a
adversity.
2-year contract? That's why he did.
And we'll get into all that. I know I'm jumping ahead. But I feel bad for the fans. That's what I was ultimately getting to. I feel bad. I have an 18-year-old kid. Now, I look back. I didn't see my first, like I said, I don't remember the early days and early 70s, but my first experience, I was 21 years old when we won.
Oh, my God.
Sorry,
Brian.
I was 21.
I got to say, I love Weed's comment is the shit. I love this. Cowboys need Charlotte to run shit.
Yeah.
That's what I love. I love that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Now go ahead. Continue yours. I had to say that because that one I love.
I'm with that. Yeah. Well, Steven, I have news for you. Jerry's going to outlive Steven. So we don't have to worry about that. Steven's looking pretty rough these days.
He's all that
Jerry's
beer.
Jerry's going to live to be like 95. I don't know
like
if Steven's going to make it another 10 years. So that's not. I don't wish that on anybody.
No.
So, I don't know that I want Jerry
Ronda.
Jr. I haven't seen him. I don't.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even know who the hell he is.
Yeah,
and then you had the quarterback. Who sucked.
Jerry Jr. is like
play for. He was like the third string on Arkansas or something.
It's like that third Manning brother.
Yes, I'm with you guys. Yeah, let's go Charlotte Jones.
I like that. That was awesome. I love Weed. Sorry, but you were talking about how they, you used to go to games and everything, and that they haven't seen it. They haven't seen this playoff team. They haven't seen a competitor.
I was only 21. That was that I remember our first Super Bowl. I know they won prior to that, but I don't remember that. So my son, he's 18. He was upset. And I thought about it. I'm like, God, you still got time, but I feel bad for It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. I thought this was special, and I was watching Mark Holmes, and I was getting misty-eyed after the game was over. It kind of set it in because I've been talking about Stuart Morrison, and we went to his house, and everybody knows the story, and the one wish was granted. We were able to make his mom fix his mother's house up, and the other dying wish, he literally said it on Mark's show, was for Dallas to win a Super Bowl. And I'm not going to lie to you, after it set in and I realized that wasn't going to happen, I'm still getting upset just thinking about it. It's more than a game, people. I'm sorry, it's more than a game.
It is.
And that's it. You need to step up and win something. It's not just a game. The people who think it's just a game, they're the same people who get, trophies for, participation instead of winning something. I'm not, I don't want the damn participation trophy. I'm sorry. We need to win something. It's more than a game. you know. And I take it personal when I hear Skip Bayless or I hear Stephen A. Smith. They think it's a joke for ratings. I can't watch that shit, people. I can't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't. I see it.
Yeah.
Clips here and there.
Because they have a lot of
I can't
material to
watch
use
it
against
anymore.
us. You know?
Until we win something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a show with you, and we're gonna cover it, and we're gonna reset the clock, and we're gonna say we can win it all again, and we're awesome in May. But am I gonna tell you that I feel confident this time next year that we're gonna do anything? Because it's been so long that I feel like we're gonna blow it. We need change, and we need serious change.
Let's
all
push for Charlotte.
Charlotte, that's the change. Yeah, the change we need. And I don't mean the change that Greg Brady did. You know, I mean the real change. So.
Yeah, Mark says, what
What's
if
up,
the
Ron
Cowboys were
DeLovelet?
setting up to fail the season? I don't know, man. You would still have to give up a lot of stuff, whether it's first-round draft picks, second-round draft picks to get them, because they wanted to make a move like John Gruden did going to Tampa from Oakland.
What's Mark saying?
No, he was talking about what if the Cowboys were
setting up a season to fail. I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. No, he's going to be in Denver. He's going on a second interview, Mark. They're going to pay whatever because they're desperate, because they got an old broken down quarterback and he paid him ridiculous money. They need Sean Payton. Let him go to the AFC. We'll see him and Gregory.
Russell Wilson needs that quarterback.
That's fine, you know, but.
Okay, so Vanderist was on the 1 year deal.
As far as that's concerned.
Oh, dang. Okay, I didn't know
and
that.
I will say this. I mean, we won a playoff game. I think it was a successful season looking back at losing Dak for 5 games, losing Tyron Smith for most of the year. I can't look at it that right now. I'm sure at some point in the future I'll be able to go, you know what, it was a good season. You know who else that we're wasting his unbelievable career? And Zach Martin. Zach Martin is literally one of the best guards in the league and has been for the last 8 years. We're wasting his career. So I'm tired of hearing, and I keep jumping around, but I'm just tired of hearing it ain't going to happen again.
No, that's exactly what I was saying earlier in the broadcast. I was jumping everywhere, and they were like, take a breath, Phil, because I had just so much frustration in different angles.
This is what we're doing. We're spilling our guts, right? This is what I shout out to the 40 people in the chat, but we're spilling our guts, and that's what this show's for. I'm not gonna apologize for it. Like the next show, we can look forward to it, next show we're gonna probably talk about who's in a Super Bowl and why we're better than that team. But right now, it doesn't feel any good.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I obviously woke up, man. I don't want to do this broadcast. It was more of
I know.
Just like, you know, and
listen, actually, this helps me. I don't know about you. I think we'll get to a point, Phil, where we enjoy. I'm already there. As soon as the game's over, it's not like it used to be. I used to be pretty. You could ask my family; they'll tell you I wasn't the nicest person. I'm a lot. Excuse me. No, sorry. No,
the peanut gallery.
I'm a lot nicer now. So it's life's too short, and that brings up another point. And Harry left. He's a longtime friend of mine. But anybody watching here that likes to go on and just spill hate on Facebook and other media, lose my number, because I'm not that type of person. Okay, if you get your thrills of watching my team lose and that just like sets you off, then you're a sad person. Okay, that's how I choose not to live. I don't wish ill will on anybody or anybody's team. When we play you, we'll have friendly banter. I don't want see anybody get hurt. But the things that I've been seeing, I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know what it is. But what is? Answer me, Phil. What do people get out of watching people just squirm for no reason? Why would you put out these real mean comments to people after a loss like that? I mean, Is
Well,
that
I mean,
something is that the
there's-
first thing you want to do is run to
No,
Facebook
trust
or
me.
Twitter and say, you lost?
Well, okay, so remember,
That's not
we're
what I
Cowboy
do.
Nation. We have a lot of American, a lot throughout America, even national, Irish. We have it everywhere in the world. I mean, not just America's team, but you're going to get people that they're just waiting on the negativity, and you have the ones that are waiting on the negativity that go and root
sad.
for the other 31 teams. But then you have a good section that just wait for the negativity to run to Facebook, to run to those social medias, and just tell you how they were right about so and so, and they suck, and they jump on it. They thrive on that part of it. It's those people that love the chaos, and they want that. This 27 years or whatever it's been, this is their championship. Yeah, every single one. We're undefeated of giving me crap to talk about. Like, it's you do have a big section of that does that. I try to ignore it. There are some times where I start to type something and I'm like, oh, no.
I just can't stand it, man. It's just like,
24/7.
people
I
go out
love
of their
it.
way to be mean.
Yeah. He says, thanks for doing this, Primetime Phil. I need this. No one liked me at work today. Yeah. Oh, trust me, I know.
Yeah, well, I was a little short a couple times, and I've come a long way. So I was proud of myself. I actually had a Giant fan look at me and say, "Really?" I'm like, "Really? You lost by 31
37,
points
yeah,
to a division rival
Yeah.
who you know. You should be embarrassed." So we lost by a touchdown. We were the better team. I'm sorry, we were the better team. We just couldn't get out of our own way to actually prove it. And I'm talking everybody, from the coaches to the whacked out kicker. I don't know if he was on mushrooms or Quaaludes. He wasn't all there because he was seeing he was seeing 3 goalposts and hit the one in the middle like Rocky, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I just don't like the hate. That's all, man. That's all I was trying to say. Is
But you can be negative.
I
I
don't like
totally
the hate
understand the
anymore.
negative. I totally understand the
Listen,
negativity with some of
I'm
this
neg-
stuff.
I'll call it how I see it. But to come out after the fact and say, you weren't going to beat us anyway, and then, you cockroaches, you got what you deserve. Are you that upset about what happened 30-some years ago that we won all those? In the last 30 years we won 5, 3 Super Bowls, 5 in total. Are you that still upset? And it's a lot of the Eagles fans. It's just
It's
very disheartening. I've lost my faith in other people anymore when it comes to this. That's why we needed it so much. We needed to win to just stop it for a while. It's never going to go away, but we need to say, no, we won. Because it's not easy to win. There's a lot of teams. Half the league has a 1-1 almost. So, it's not easy. But
I think so too, Ruben. He says, I think there will be some changes
anyway,
coming.
thanks, iRock.
Yeah, I mean, it's there. You're getting that frustration out in the sense of the therapy. I mean, everybody kind of needs this. Whether you're talking to the Cowboy fans, you get other people's perspective of what they thought about the game, maybe the future of it, something that you're not thinking about. That you might be fueled with that anger that you're not seeing. This is a young team. Like, if you think about this team and all together, obviously Jason Peters brought that average up, but this is still a very young team that's being put together. And yes, as much as we're complaining about the non-free agencies, They're growing up together. They're starting to get that, and hopefully they can keep these guys together for a while. But I'm ready for that next layer to get placed on already. As our season ends, I'm ready for those additional guys to get excited, like a Sam Williams that stepped up, and now we're like, okay, now we don't have to worry about a Randy Gregory and that long contract that he had. So there's a lot of pieces that hey, we can continue this on. Let's go for defensive tackle. Let's get a guy in here that can team up with Hankins and Osa Odigizua made a play yesterday. You got, so there's some people here that if you can just add another piece or so to each part, linebacker, Dwayne, you got what Clark? You got LV. You're hoping that you can bring back, maybe
there's a lot of pieces.
Yeah, there is.
There's a lot of pieces we have, Phil. I'm like I said, I'm not saying we can't. I'm just saying, we have a lot of young pieces. There's a lot to look forward to. But we got a lot of work. Thank God the cap's going to explode because we're going to need all of it. Because We need to move on from some players that people might be surprised about. Zeke's going to have to take a real team-friendly deal, or he's got to go. As much as I love Zeke, and I've
it would hurt to see him playing somewhere else, but
Zeke. We have to do what we got to do. I agree with Jack Meeker. Gallimore is a huge disappointment.
I was so close to saying his name, and I stopped myself.
Bring back Hankins. Yeah, I know the Glimmer Man. Every time I think about it, man, I still see it. It's way too fresh. Our defense played their ass off yesterday.
Yeah.
Our ass off. I mean, and I got what I wanted. I got Michael Parsons lined up against Trent Williams, and he beat his ass and got a sack early in the game. I mean, it was just everything I wanted. And our offense couldn't capitalize. It was just frustrating, man. It's nothing like knowing it, before it happens, and can't do nothing about it, man.
Well, as we get this, we got pretty much all the levels of it. I mean, the defense we can be proud of. Obviously, we know what pieces that we have to create, and we're going to go into a way deeper dive when it comes into what this roster is, the people that are moving on, the pieces that we can add into the round. Right now, we're sitting at the 26th pick of the draft, so we're already there. Now we're pushing into the next part of the season. Don't dwell because there's nothing we can do, man. It's just. This team has to learn. And if you use that motivation last year and you got beat by San Francisco and you came close to beating them this year, guess what? That's going to be extra fuel for your fire, for the next following year. You just don't be wishing upon, I want to play a particular person and everything as a player. You just play with who's in front of you. And, hey, man, they proved this year that they were able to beat some teams that had winning records. It's just something – there's a lot of things that changed within this offense. I say that, but the team in general, I mean, it was doing things that in a consistent basis. I mean, obviously you had the sacks that they were getting to the quarterback. It kind of dropped off later on because they started to have to do some stuff to stop the run. But they fixed it, and and it just sucks because they kind of ran out of games before they figured out how to blend in that stopping the run with getting pressure on the quarterback. They never really got that to kind of push together. So there's a lot that they need to improve.
Pollard's got to go into Pollard has to go into his free agency with a broken leg. But we're gonna break it all down for you people. This helps me. I mean, listen, man, I'm going to be a Cowboy fan for life. Not to get too sentimental, but it's been a long time. But I had older brother who passed away. We buried him with a Cowboy football. So it runs deep in my family. Anybody that knows me knows the deal. I got family from Texas, even though I live in South Jersey. I need to get the hell out of here, man. This place is not what it used to be. There's a lot of hate. So, it is what it is. This one really hurts me. There's not much more I could say. Thanks for the almost 40 people still in the chat. Some new names. So that's good. I hope you guys are here because you're interested and not just to see us bleed all over the place.
I mean, hey, it's entertaining. I get it. So now, I mean, sometimes that's what it is, man. So I think we're getting to that point where we've kind of complained about it and stuff, and trust me, this complaining thing isn't over. By the time there'll be little things we'll complain about. Obviously, Schultz and the move that we need to make because. As much as in the beginning of the season, I was just like, okay, Schultz, and then by the time Dak came back, I understood. Yeah,
I want to get rid of Schultz just because that's Dak's best friend. No, I want to strip you of all your buddies. So, but I definitely need. I want to go so I can fix all this crap that I caused on my system. So it's been good. I think. I appreciate everybody coming in. You guys are fantastic. Jeannie, you keep switching up your name on us.
Yeah, she's like...
That's crazy.
The artist formerly known as...
Dallas Diva.
But anyways...
Formerly known as...
Yeah, I'm going to say this again, but in general, is there anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No.
Feel good? It's off your chest?
I got no more blood. I'm running thin with blood. I've let it out. And I'm with Jack Meeker. I love Hender's shot. That was another.
Brooklyn Show says do a show when they fire Kellen. Oh yeah, this might be alive right off the bat. It's on a Tuesday.
What are we going on next, Phil? We going on Saturday?
We might go on.
Are we going Saturday?
Friday. I know. I have. Oh, we can go on Saturday. Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna already have one set
No, I
of
don't
games.
care.
Oh, we're gonna write. No,
Or
the set of
Friday,
games are
either
Sunday.
way. Just look out for it. I'll tweet it out. Either Friday or Saturday, and then me and Phil got to come up with a schedule after the season's over. But it's been great, people. We will definitely text it out. Tweet it out.
Yeah, and again, we appreciate you coming through this season, our first season of live coverage. You've seen us. If you've watched in the beginning of the season, you saw the videos and how they've morphed and kind of come together and the audio problems that we had.
Shit, and now I'm ending.
Look at that. We're
ending
editing it like this. That's how you do it, man. If you stay consistent, people will respect you for it. So, but I appreciate you guys sticking down. I mean, we've grown as a nation, and you guys are here in the first season, and hopefully, yeah, we're in the thousands by years to come, and so we're looking back and talking about that first season and how it got our hopes up, and how the next season after that we're talking Super Bowls or whatever. But I know I'm excited about the future within this channel, and I'm glad that hey, man, we got something good going on here, and I love the chat, man. These guys have some great insight.
Good. Yeah.
So before we get out of here, what do we always have to remember?
We got a lot of plans, man. Just keep spreading the word. If you see something, retweet it. It really helps. The more eyes on it. We really want to get into giving stuff away, and I have some really cool ideas, but
we're going to talk. I love
more subscribers.
We're going to talk about the rest of it. I think we're going to wait till he has some better audio so we can make sure that we have a full straight up.
Yeah.
Because breaking up, I don't know how it sounded on you guys, but yeah, man, we'll get it together. We'll figure out, because we're definitely going to be talking about these teams. We're not going to just focus on that. We got to talk about football. I mean, we only have a little bit of it left. We might even have an inch where we're talking about the Pro Bowl or the XFL and the USFL and what, maybe there's some guys they can pluck out of there, just like they plucked at Turpin. I mean, I think that's a piece that for the future. And again, if he makes a better decision, they got to watch the film and know you got to cut to the outside.
I want to close her. I want to finish her, man. But anyway.
All right. Well, guys, I appreciate it again. What do we have to remember, Brian? To ring that bell.
To always ring that bell.
All right, man, guys, take it easy, and we will see you either Friday or Saturday, okay? Take care.
Hey, we know each other. He's a friend from work.
What you do, you're like a little screw loose type of guy, and that's how I am. So I'm digging it, big guy. I am.
Who are you?
You.
No, not me, you.
Yes, I am you.
Just answer the damn questions. Who are you?
GameTime Bryan, otherwise known as the mailman here,
Cool name. Superpowers?
broadcasting from the illustrious Jobu Studio.
Come on, are you gonna tell me who that is?
Primetime Phil, and of course my co-host, GameTime Bryan.
Oh, Jesus Christ, this place is going to explode. $100,000, I don't even need to hear it.